PR Connections Radio presents.
I guess you can be very successful without one, and probably some people do. But I would not have accomplished anywhere near what I have accomplished without a mentor. I have had a number of mentors, and my whole life has changed dramatically. I went from going nowhere to having a business that operates all over the world. If you want to win in a big way, you want to get a mentor. It's almost like getting a direct pipeline from their mind to your mind, where you're gaining all their wisdom, all their experience, and all the studying that they've done over a number of years. And like that, you get it all in a short period of time. Are mentors important? Well, I'm going to tell you, mentors literally changed the course of my life. Let's take a look at what thinking into results is and what it could do for you, how it came about. You see, my life had changed dramatically. I went from earning nothing to earning over $1 million a year. And I was sitting one day and I was thinking, how did all this happen? Do you know, I was reading Think and Grow Rich. I was studying Earl Nightingale's material. But a lot of people have read those books and studied Earl's material. And they weren't accomplishing what I was accomplishing. So I had to ask myself, what am I doing so different? You see, I had been raised to believe if you're going to earn a lot of money, you've got to be really smart. I was earning over $1 million a year, and I didn't think I was that bright. I was also raised to believe if you don't go to school, you can't win. Well, I hadn't gone to school. I went to high school for about 2 months. I didn't have a good job. I owned the entire company. If you want to be happy, healthy, and prosperous, it's all here. Thinking into results is going to show you how to get it. If what I've said really triggered something in your mind and you're thinking maybe, contact the certified PGI consultant. Hit the button, leave the information. Do yourself a favor. Sit down and talk to them about what this program can do for you. This very well could be the decision that will change the rest of your life.
Hi, everybody. I'm Sid Maestri. I'm a qualified consultant with Thinking in Results in Proctor Gallagher. And you just got to meet Bob. And just to kind of fill out his story, he studied this little book, Think and Grow Rich, which was given to him in 1961. He studied over 50 years and put together a program. And we call it Thinking in the Results. And Sandy Gallagher is the key person that created it. She went to a seminar with Bob's in 2006, and she had never heard of him. But when he started talking, she said, I was hearing things I'd never heard before. And by the end of the seminar, they had to write a goal down. So she wrote her goal, but she covered up her hand so no one at her table could see. And she wanted to be in Bob's inner circle and be his closest confidant. Because she felt that Bob's information belongs in the boardrooms of America, because she was an financial attorney doing acquisitions, mergers, and initial public offerings, IPOs. And having to bring two companies together in a merger with two different cultures was an issue that she felt was a big problem, and that Bob had the solution. So she studied everything that he had written in his videos. And we have Thinking in the Results today. I'm going to start off with what we call the stick person, because everything, to understand the stick person, you'll see how things are going on in your life. So our stick person, we're looking at the conscious mind and what's happening. We've got all the 5 senses of seeing, hearing, smelling, touching. And I was reading it from the back. See, hear, smell, taste, and touch. And all this information is coming into the conscious mind. And the conscious mind has the ability to accept it or reject it. Or where the subconscious mind, when it comes into the subconscious mind has the option to accept it, cannot reject it. So everything that you're thinking, everything that you're accepting that you see around you is going into your subconscious mind. My guest today is John Gage. John's been studying this for over 5 years. Good afternoon, John. Welcome.
Good afternoon, and thank you, Sid. So, how are you today?
I've been eager to get on online with you, and I believe you have a quote or so. It really has an impact on you.
Actually, I do. It's along the same lines as what you were just talking about. It's by Thomas Jefferson. It says, "Nothing on earth can stop the man with the right mental attitude from achieving his goals, and nothing on earth can help the man with the wrong mental attitude." Which, it's like that saying we used to tell our kids, and it's a simplification of it, but if you think you can, you're right. You can. If you think you can't, you're right. You can't. Because the mind it controls everything we do. It's our decision to be positive. It's our decision to be negative. We wake up every day and make the decision to live our life. We make the decision to go to work. We make the decision, we make the decision to consciously consume food. We can make, you know what I mean? We make the decision to stay with the person we've chosen for the rest of our lives. We make that decision daily. And it gets easier because the subconscious mind, as you said, can only accept. And once the conscious mind has said, no, this is what reality is, the subconscious mind is going to go, okay, I'll make it happen.
Very good, John. The other thing that I didn't say at the beginning, the Thinking in Results program has 10 lessons. And this is our 9th week. We're doing the 9th lesson called The Magic Genie. I apologize. One of our great ones is The Magic Genie. Our lesson today is the magic word. And that word is attitude. And attitude tells you takes you where you are in life, whether you're coming with a positive attitude, where you can create anything that you desire. Bob has a saying that if you can tell me what you want, I can show you how to get it. And this program shows you how to get whatever you like. So with that, John, I think you, or is it back to me?
Well, you're talking about the attitude and why, because it puts off these positive waves, which you give to the universe comes back to you, because you can either have a negative or a positive attitude, and they both affect your world in a different way. And they've actually done some studies on it. I've been looking into it, and they can actually measure the positive biofeedback or energy or the negative biofeedback that we give off every day. They can actually measure the positive and the negative, which is interesting because our bodies are in motion all the time. Even when we sleep, our bodies are in motion. I mean, even this book, there's always some motion to it. There's always motion going on. In order to exist, you have to have motion. You have to be moving. So we have this magnetic field. They call it a biofield, I think is the term that's being used currently. But essentially, it's the same thing. You're putting off a positive attitude. And when they found if you put off a positive attitude, you attract people that are positive. Put off a negative attitude, guess what? You attract people that are negative. And so attitude really matters because of the energy we project to other people, and it's infectious. Have you ever been to a party where there's somebody just going around just happy as can be, and it's catchy? Even if they're just being silly and you're like, well, that's silly, but it's still catchy. You start finding yourself getting in a good mood because their mood can't be taken down. That's how this works. It sends that positive energy out, and it's measurable, which I found to be interesting. There's several studies. I haven't read them. I just started reading about this. I thought, man, that's interesting, because doing thinking into results, we talk about what you put out in the world that comes back to you. Well, now they can actually measure it. And I think that's just kind of a cool concept, don't you?
I like that. Go back to vibration for a moment. That whatever thoughts we're having, the positive thoughts that are going into the subconscious have feelings. We're feeling good when it's reflected in your subconscious, and as John said, you're giving out positive energy, and people won't even know that. They just like to be around you. But the other side of the coin is when there's someone that you're not comfortable with. You can't put your finger on it, but you can't relate to them. Well, it's their negative energy. And one of the things we want to teach, spend as little time with negative people. Matter of fact, one of my sayings I learned years ago, you might write this one down. Surround yourself with people that support your intention in life. Surround yourself with people that support your intention in life.
Mm-hmm.
And John and I have that relationship, and it goes both ways. I'm learning things from John. Hopefully, John is learning some things from me.
I am quite often, yes.
So tell me, with all this positive, negative, understanding vibration, understanding emotions and how we feel that day,
mm-hmm.
What's the big impact that you've had from learning?
Well, as we've talked many times on the show, I've had some health issues. And at the beginning of 2002, about mid-January, I went into the hospital. I wasn't feeling well. I'd been in and out of the hospital for a while. There have been some pretty negative things happen in my life. And unfortunately, I allowed that to affect me in a negative way. And it really affected my body to the point that I was on the verge of dying. I went to the hospital on a Friday, and I woke up probably a week and a half. I think it was a week and a half later, because they had to induce a coma because I was delusional from hypoxia. So I went to sleep and woke up, and I know in the middle of that I would come conscious, and I was tied down, and I didn't know what was going on. And I'm 6'8". I almost broke the bed. Apparently, I went home and I had bruises on my arms and ankles, but it really made me think, because after I woke up, they had me on a CPAP, on a BiPAP machine, 24 hours, 7 days a week. I couldn't be off of it, because what had happened is, this was right at the end of COVID, the mask had caused hypoxia in my lungs, where my lungs weren't releasing the carbon dioxide, so it was poisoning me. It's the same effect that you get when you're flying and you don't put oxygen, or the oxygen masks. It's the same exact effect, only it's a slow buildup. So it was literally killing me. My legs had gone black below my knees. They couldn't get a pulse. They were talking about amputating those. I was on 9 liters of oxygen. For those of you out there who are medical professionals, you know that's a lot of oxygen. That's a lot of oxygen. I was told that I would be on that for the rest of my life. I was told I would have complications walking, probably wouldn't be able to walk very far for the rest of my life. And between talking to God, you know, because when you're alone, because I was in the hospital by myself, and going, how am I going to fix this? Because you start taking those kind of responsibilities on yourself. And I started thinking into results. So I was pulling the lessons down, listening to them, and actually rewriting and doing the worksheets. And I started going in. By the time I'd finished the 12th lesson, I was like, I don't accept those. I just don't accept that. I don't accept being on oxygen for the rest of my life. I don't accept the amputation of my legs. I don't accept not being able to walk. It's been about 2.5 years now, and I literally decided I was going to be off the oxygen. I had to, you know, it was a willful, so I rejected the fact. And within 2 months, I was off the oxygen completely. It took me a long time for the walking, but I'm able. I just need a cane now to get up and down stairs. If I'm walking long distances, I need a cane, or I may need to bring a scooter once in a while if I go like Disney World or someplace like that. It's hard for me to maintain all day currently, but 2 years ago I couldn't do it at all. So it's a huge improvement, and it's all because I decided that was going to happen. I decided that I was going to start getting healthy. My heart rate at the time, I don't know if you know what an infraction ratio is.
No.
An infraction ratio is when the heart pumps and pushes the blood through your system. My infraction ratio was at 40% at that time, which is very poor. And because of these changes that I have said, I don't accept, and that I don't accept their results. I believe 100% that I can heal. My infraction ratio was checked 2 weeks ago, and it's at 65%.
That's terrific.
It's 10% above what's average for someone my age. So it increased 25% and it jumped 10% higher than normal. So my heart is functioning much better, which pumps blood down into your legs. I don't have much discoloration any longer. I can see, because they couldn't get my pulse in my feet. When you touch the top of your feet, there's a pulse, like, you know, the pulse that you get on your wrist. When you touch your wrist here, and you can feel your pulse beating, you can feel it in your feet too. Well, it's just as strong in my feet now as it is in my wrist. You can see all the veins down there. There was nothing there before. And it's all because I've said, okay, how? I don't accept this. I'm going to get healthy. And my subconscious, like you said, has no choice but to accept that.
John?
So, yes, sir.
Sorry to interrupt.
No, go ahead.
But I was looking at the time. Can you share with us your big goal, the big picture,
Okay.
and,
Yeah, my
and
goal is
what you're doing to achieve that?
What I'm doing to achieve that is, my big goal is to get down from 500 pounds to 275, which for my size is ideal. And every day I get up in the morning and tell myself I only have to get through today. And I put myself in a calorie deficit because it takes 4,180 calories a day for me to maintain the current weight I'm at. So, and it takes 3,300 calories a day to maintain 275. So I put myself in a calorie deficit down to 2,000 to 2,500 a day. And I just tell myself every day, okay, just got to get through today, because it's not easy when you're consuming enough calories to maintain. So that was working really well. So now I've decided to go to intermittent fasting. So I eat in a 6-hour period. So now I fast for 18 hours, and then I consume all my calories within a 6-hour range, and then I don't consume after that. And it's just starting to shed the weight off, and I'm starting to feel really good. My pain is starting to subside. It's still there, but it's not like it was, you know. And so my life is improving by applying this positive attitude. And like Thomas Jefferson said, nothing on earth can stop the man with the right mental attitude from achieving his goal.
Can you tell me what you're going to look like, John, what you want to be doing when you're down this 275?
Well, I'm going to be traveling the world, learning new cultures, visiting. I'm going to start with Ireland because I've got Irish blood, so I'm going to start there. And learn the culture. I mean, I've got a family crest back there, so I want to go back. I'm going to learn about that. I'm going to fish the areas. I'm going to talk to the people that live there. I'm going to learn about the cultures, and my wife and I are going to travel doing that because we're going to have enough. We're going to have enough funds. We're going to have plenty of energy, all because I've decided that's what's going to happen. I'm looking forward to traveling by boat or flying over to Ireland, to, Russia, to Australia, to diving off to snorkeling off on the Great Barrier Reef. That's going to be fantastic. It would be nice to look at the fish that I like to keep in the wild, so it's going to be fun. I'm looking forward to being super active again. When you couldn't be active, it's something to look forward to. I used to camp all the time. I used to do, all kinds of stuff when I was younger. And now I'm feeling like I can do it again, and I'm almost 60. So it's a good feeling to get your life back because you decided it. And it's funny because you start thinking about all these things. What can I do to improve this now? And all of a sudden that starts coming to you. And you go, oh, well, thank you. I watched your video that you sent me the other day about the IM and how you learn to listen. One of the things that this teaches you to do is learn to listen to what you're being told so that you know what to move forward with, because it's going to come to you because you've decided you want to attract it.
I'm sorry for the interruption. Okay. I didn't know my volume was on the phone. But getting back to what you were saying, and you shared this with me, I don't know if you're keeping a secret, but what do you be able to do once you're 275 physically?
Well, physically?
Yeah, that's
big. Number one, I'll be able to walk up and down the stairs. I'll be able to walk all day long. My goal is to walk a mile a day and have, physical full body workout 3 days a week. That's my goal. And I'm looking at 10 to 12% body fat, which is ideal. And it's very easy to accomplish. Our bodies are designed to live 120 years. So a lot of what we do kind of reduces that time frame. Ultimately, it's our decision and our attitude that makes the difference in our life. It doesn't matter what's going on around us. What matters is what's going on within us. And that vibration we're putting off will bring others to us that think like we do. And it makes a huge difference.
John, I think it's time for me to kind of wrap up what we've done today and what's happening next week. So I thank you so much for taking the time. I know you're a busy guy.
It's always my pleasure.
So I really appreciate that. So next week, we're going to be doing the most valuable person, lesson number 10. And you're the most valuable person. What you picture in your life, you want to be the star of the story of your life, how you picture yourself, what you're doing. And change your thinking about certain things that you want to do. You want to do them a long time, or you admire somebody and you wish you could be like them. Those are things you'll learn in the next lesson. I want to thank everybody that's been on the call. And you can go to prconnectionsvideo.com and watch all of, this is the 10th one. You can watch the old ones too. And you can go to the website, sidmaestri.thinkinginresults.com, which you see on your screen. There's a place there where you can contact me. You can ask some questions, which I love questions. And you can schedule a time to talk. We want to talk about your goals, what you'd like to do in life, and have more fun. Have more fun. I'm going to back up for a moment. John mentioned the I am, and that's something else I teach. I'm a spiritual warrior mentor, bringing spirituality into what we're doing with thinking and results with our life. And it's based on the I am, capital I am, which came from Moses in the burning bush. Who are you? I am that I am. Who sent me? Who sent you? I am sent you, which is God's name for itself to the children of Israel 3,500 years ago. So bring it up to the present. What does that mean? It means if the I am is within you, kingdom of heaven is within you, and any of your thoughts, your creative thoughts, are coming from your I am into your conscious mind, and to be aware of that, to recognize your positive thoughts, your creative thoughts, know that inspiration is coming from within. Normally people are teaching, I like to say the universe is God's mind. And normally people are thinking that the ideas, the God energy is coming in. I teach that the God presence is within you, and it's coming up in your conscious mind and waiting for us to wake up, acknowledge it, and take the steps that we're guided to do. I use the expression, I pay attention to my thinking. I discern the God thoughts. With faith and courage, I take the action I'm compelled to do without consideration of the results, that if I like it or don't like it. If I like it, success, I can build on that foundation. If I don't like it, that's the great part, because now you get to discover what you didn't like about it and correct it. Get another perspective of what you like, another perspective of what the results that you liked. There's always another way. There's always a black and white, up and down, yin yang. I'm watching my time in the corner. I think they're going to cut us off in 1 second, or not. We will see you next week, John.
Take care.
Thank you.
PR Connections Radio thanks you for watching this podcast. Check out more episodes of this show and our others at prconnectionsradio.com.